Hello everyone, this is the Sage of Calidor coming to you with another video on the Numenorian civilizations, Tar-Meneldur. I thank you for those coming to watch this video. I know this is not a whole popular thing, but I like the Numenorian civilization. I think it is cool and I really want to share it. I know I build this channel a lot on Warhammer videos, but as you see in my intro, I do not just like Warhammer, I also like Lord of the Rings, Dungeons and Dragons, and I want to do a lot of stuff. Anyway, we are going to start with the next king of Numenor today. Just for some quick reminders, Tar-Meneldur was the younger child and the only son of Tar-Meneldur, the previous king. He had two older sisters, one named Silmarian, who was the ancestress of the kings of Gondor and Arnor. And he was a stargazer and spent most of his time at Forostar in northern Numenor, where they had a lot of there was a wide open night sky perfect for stargazing, and he only left when he became king of Numenor. And his reign was marked by his constant difficulties with his son and heir, Eldarion, because Eldarion founded the Guild of Venturers for the Numenorians to sail and explore. And this was supported by the Queen, Elmarian, and Meneldur did not like these voyages because he believed they promoted restlessness and the desire to dominate other lands and leave Numenor. Meneldur did not do very much as king. He just maintained the status quo of his father and his grandfather and so on and so forth. But his son wanted to explore, and he tried to curb his son's behavior by limiting the amounts of ships that can be built in Numenor, and passing the laws limiting the amount of lumber. However, his son Eldarion founded several bases in Middle-earth that curtailed this ban. One issue was because Eldarion was a little bit was on so many voyages and did not marry. But in the end, he did manage to convince his son to marry. The woman picked is named Erendis, a member of the lesser branch of the royal Numenorian family, and I believe she is a distant branch of the royal family, but she was a member of the queen's household. At first, relations were good, and Erendis was okay with his love for the sea, and Eldarion fell in love with her, but he spent a long of time at sea, which put him at odds with his family, especially his wife. But this will be covered more in his own video. So yeah, Meneldur had a difficult relationship with his son, and this, I say, is the dominant events of his reign. He did not want his son to travel and tried to forbid him from going, but eventually, because his son will protest, he would give his consent. He would say, don't go. His son would not do anything for a while, but in the end say, please just let me go for a voyage. And his father and Meneldur said, okay, but eventually Meneldur was like, no, no more voyages. However, Eldarion went on a voyage without his permission, and this caused an estrangement between the father and the son. And it looked like, to all watching, father and son would spend the rest of Meneldur's reign butting heads. However, destiny had a different plan. In the year 882 in the Second Age, after a long voyage about 5 to 6 years, Eldarion returned and gave a letter to Meneldur. And it was from Gil-galad, the High King of the Noldor, who thanked him, Meneldur, for allowing his son Eldarion to assist the elves. And the letter explained a great evil rising in the east, and the elves believed it was a servant of Morgoth who escaped the War of Wrath. The elves were struggling to contain this evil until they came up with a strategy to defeat it. And Gil-galad mentioned Eldarion believed the weak spot in the defenses was right around here. Like this area, with the plan is with these mountains to be used to hold the enemy at bay, and this was seen as a vulnerable point. And the Elven High King, Gil-galad, asked for the restarting of the old alliance and asked for aid to be sent to that location and surrounding locations to select a garrison. He also asked Meneldur for forgiveness for essentially borrowing Eldarion's time, like taking away his son from him for all this time, but like taking his son away from him all this time. And it was then when Meneldur realized Eldarion's voyages were done for this particular purpose. That although Eldarion loved the sea, there was a purpose to his voyages, like fighting the good fight against the evil forces. And so he realized two things. First, he realized a failure to communicate and fix the relationship with his son, and if the father and son were on the same page, their issues would have been avoided, and it would be a great way to help the two of them. Second, he realized he was ill-suited for this new age in the world where Numenor had to take a more active stand to protect the world. And so he stepped down and surrendered the scepter to Eldarion in the Second Age 1883. And there was nothing written about it, although Meneldur might advise his son Eldarion, but I would like to think he would enjoy his retirement and likely do what he usually do, observe the stars, and he would stay there quietly for about a century, where he passed away during the 942 year of the Second Age. And in closing, that's the end of Tar-Meneldur. His reign marks a turning point in Numenorian culture, in Numenorian civilization, because up until this point, Numenor stayed on their island. No more. Numenor is going to find themselves in a position where they are going to interact with the wider world. And all this will start with his son and successor, Tar-Meneldur, the subject for the next video in the series. Thank you for your time in watching this video. I hope to see you again. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I know this topic is different than some of the other videos like Warhammer Fantasy, but this is a favorite topic of mine, and I'm hoping you will find some measure to enjoy it as well. Anyway, I bid you a wonderful day, and goodbye.